Like we always do at this time. I got it right this time, Dennis. Like we always do at this time.
Yesterday, you was all over the
place. Yo, like we always do at this time. My man Denny Blanco, how you doing?
We are here. It's in the game podcast. Randy J. Cruz, Sir Denny Blanco. We always thank you and appreciate you for listening and watching us. We appreciate the support. We have a very, 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 I don't even know if I have enough veries. I don't very, 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 very special guest.
That's a lot of veries. Yep.
It's a lot of veries I got to throw on there. A very, very special guest in the building.
Before I get to her, you can follow Denny Blanco on all social media platforms at Sir Denny Blanco, myself, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, letter J, CRUZ. Fund the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. And most importantly, youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. As Denny mentioned, many moons ago, he called her the Swiss Army knife, the jack of all trades. He does everything. The swag is there. Now for NBA on Prime, the one, the only Miss Cassidy Hubbarth in the building. How you doing?
My people, my friends. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. Another season, but brand new for me. A shout out that you got this. That you get this podcast on Amazon Music.
That's right.
I'm a company girl. I'm a company girl. Hey.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Look at the branding. Go. Look at the branding.
We gotta get it. We gotta get people used to it.
That's a fact.
It's a new way.
Let it rain. Let it rain.
We are doing this live on X and YouTube. So anybody got questions, comments, feedback, whatever, hit us up in the chat. We'll get right to it. I mean, listen, you mentioned it's brand new for you. Those who don't know, you are now with NBA on Prime. You are no longer with ESPN. You've moved on. It's a new day for you and your professional career. Before we get active with this, how the transition, how's it going? How's it been? Has it been kind of smooth? And like, what was the deciding factor or factors that led to you to say, you know what, I think NBA on Prime should be my next professional endeavor?
The check cleared.
Hey, I don't mind that. You don't mind that.
It kind of feels crazy to go all the way back to when, I first started exploring this opportunity, because it feels like I've lived several different lives since then. Because, it kind of decided it early on in the season last year, but then still finished out the regular season with ESPN. I didn't necessarily have like a good farewell tour, but it was internally I did. It was, a lot of people started figuring it out. For whatever reason, news broke about it. I don't know why people cared, but, and so it became a conversation whenever I was at arenas. So, and then, I didn't end up doing the playoffs for the first time in however years, nine years. And I had that off. And that was, I've been off really since April, which has been such a blessing.
Like a true off season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even more so, there's an off season in the NBA. It feels like 24/7, 365 these days with all of the news, but August ends up being a pretty dead time in the NBA. But for me to go all the way back and be able to watch the playoffs as a fan and really just be able to spend time with my family. My daughter's 6.5 right now. And that is it's such a beautiful age. And I'm still her favorite person. And I don't know
right now.
Yes, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be that. And so I think I'm really going to look back in this time that I've had with her and really cherish it. I am cherishing it in the moment. But I'm antsy to get back. I mean, I'm so excited. And I think Amazon has done such a great job of energizing everybody who's come aboard, and, given me this new sense of purpose. And I think that's what really drew me to take this opportunity. When I first started talking to Amina Hussein, who I have a long-standing relationship with. I worked with her at ESPN. She was the first person who gave me a shot to fill in on Countdown, and just kind of helped elevate my career at ESPN. And then we got close while there, and then when she left, I followed her career. And when my deal came up, she called me. I think we spoke right before my 40th birthday, because I remember I was talking about how I used to be the youngest.
Yep.
And I actually was away from my 40th birthday with my husband. We were on a trip, and she calls me and she goes, "So, are you ready to do this? Like, you want to do this?" And
wow.
It said it in a way, was like, this is real. Like, we want you. This is real. And it just, I don't think I'll ever forget that call, because I think it really kind of set in, because my answer immediately was yes. Like, I didn't think twice about it. And then I was able to get a chance to get to know Jared Stacy, who is, there's a lot of bosses at Amazon, but he oversees basically, the production for all the sports.
Write that down.
Yes, yes, he is incredible. He used to work at Spectrum, and so I interacted with him a bit when he was at Spectrum, and he's been all over, and is such a smart and just wonderful human. And we had such a great conversation off the bat, and we connected. As it wasn't just like, hey, I'm trying to impress this executive. We connected on a human level, and that was what basically my interview was. We were talked about like my how I viewed life, and that you may hear this in circles, I don't know, on media podcasts, but there's this big line that the Amazon Prime Video people like to say, is that they have this no asshole policy. They want to make sure, like, the focus is to make sure that they hire good people who are considerate and thoughtful. And I got a taste of what Jared and Amina were able to build together when we had our seminar back in August, where all of the talent came into the Amazon studios, and I had never experienced anything like that before, in terms of this collective energy of just, whether it be former players, Hall of Famers like Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash and D Wade and Blake Griffin. And then you have Taylor Rooks, who's, gosh, I mean, there's not enough words you can say about her star power and just the type of woman she is. And, even all the producers that they put together in that room. And it just was so energizing in August. And then since then we've been building and kind of communicating, and there's just this collective excitement that we're not just going to cover games, but we're building something together. And, I've been in this league a long time, and this feels like the start of a new chapter. And it's hard that, you don't really get these opportunities to walk into something that's both historic and brand new at the same time. And that's what's happening, I feel like, as we're about a week away from the season.
Well, I was going to get to one more thing before Denny chimes in. So the Prime, people can catch Prime games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays?
Yes. So listen, it's actually a very interesting schedule. So TNF has obviously Thursday night games right now for the NFL, which I mean, it's more of a reason, like, that's where things are going. Like, Amazon's where sports are going. They are here. It is not the future. Amazon is an active player in the sports world. And so they have Thursday night. And to start the season, I'll be on every Friday night until the Thursday night football season is done. And then we'll move to exclusive games on Thursday night. And then we've also added post Thursday night football, a Saturday matinee game, really, which is interesting because it's Amazon has a lot of global rights. And so, our games are going to be shown in Europe and abroad. And so that's what that time slot's for. And so I don't even think I fully grasp the reach that we're going to have. But it's different than, broadcast TV.
I was just going to ask that the fact that to consume NBA games nowadays, just like NFL and baseball, it's a lot of streaming platforms. And now NBA is going back to NBC. They're on Peacock. It's ESPN. Obviously, you guys, NBA TV revamped their whole lineup and everything. So you're on linear TV with ESPN, but now what you're going to do is on a brand new stream platform. How does that change anything? Is there anything that you got to do differently? And ultimately, what kind of impact you felt Prime was looking for in this space?
I'll put this, what's going to be different. I don't know yet because we're still building it out, but I think that's what's going to be different for me is, this being a part of something that's not already established and you kind of fit into the mold. We're creating our own mold. And part of that, I think, is going to be the fact that, we're not constricted by time or rushing to local news or rushing even to the second game, because you can have both games streaming at the same time. So there have been so many times that I don't get a post-game interview, or I do one, but it's taped and then it just goes off into the ether and no one sees it. And that's not just about, it's not about me wanting FaceTime. I think there's so many fans who want to hear from the star player. What is going on? I keep trying to turn off my email.
You're being notified. You're Cassidy Hubbarth.
Exactly.
You're being notified.
Exactly. And I'm like, never listening to podcasts. I'm like, that person needs to turn off their. I don't know.
You're Cassidy Hubbarth. You're being notified. It's all right. It's all right.
So I was thinking about, if a game runs over and we're in an overtime game, they have to rush and get to the next game. Yep. Whereas, we can really kind of sit with the game for a while and give those viewers a mini post game show, or go to the studio and have them do that while the other game starts on a I don't even know the right term. You can click into another game. And so I think that's going to, and plus no starts are sliding, it is when it says it's going to start, it will start. And so not only will fans like that, but the players and coaches will like that as well, because that happened all the time.
Nice.
On ESPN and ABC.
Shout out to Neff. I was wondering where she was during the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, we're looking for you.
Watching like you guys.
Then go ahead.
Wow. All right. Listen, it's always good to jump on a rocket ship, isn't it?
It sure is a rocket ship.
Yeah, it's always good to jump on a rocket ship. Number one.
Did you see our studios, by the way?
Phenomenal. Very, very, very sexy. I thought I wanted to lean back and drink a cognac, but that's neither here nor there.
And there will be.
Hey, post game.
Yeah, so I'll take a sip of water. It's going to get
real comfortable.
Yeah, I'll take a sip of water. But yeah, the rocket ship, is always good to be on the rocket ship, number one. And you mentioned sense of purpose. And you obviously, when you're doing something, you want something to shift. So you can be like, oh, that's what it is. Okay. Just so as a reminder, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy this happened for you, Cassidy. And then interviews. Interviews are the best when they're not interviews. It's like, hey, Denny, how was your weekend? I'm sorry, I talked to some guy named Randy, but other than that, everything was good. Something like that. So I'm happy that, the interview was simple. Amazon looked at WWE and said, we need in.
we
need to work out this, how do we get NBA on these streaming channels. And obviously you mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to get to my question. You mentioned earlier, obviously, the actual reach that this particular your Amazon NBA on Prime has. So you're good. If folks didn't know Cassidy Hubbarth in the corners of the islands of Bermuda, they're going to know her now. Hello.
That's a fact.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm going through Team Amazon. I'm looking at this, and you mentioned it early, just to gloss over this awesome talent pool, if you will. Okay. Ian Eagle, play-by-play. Kevin Harlan, play-by-play.
Yeah.
That's the GOAT right there.
Michael Grady.
Yeah.
Think about that. You have Ryan, you have Kevin, and Grady is like a shooting star. You're talking about a rocket ship.
Right between the eyes.
Yeah. That's what I mean, though. Like Amina and Jared, they nailed it.
You got Eric Collins
That's how we're
play-by-play
feeling right now.
You got Eric Collins play-by-play. Then you obviously have two game analysts that, okay, Brent Barry, he knows what he's talking about. Del Curry, I think he has two sons that play in the NBA. I don't know. Their names slip me. I'm sorry. And then obviously we have Alan Clifton, sideline reporter, Christina Pink, sideline reporter, and of course two vets, and of course our very own Cassidy Hubbarth, which leads me to my question.
That's me.
That's right.
It's you, sideline reporter. I said, name her a sideline reporter. I like to call it a Swiss Army knife in media, but whatever. You want to give her an actual one title? All right, whatever. So I'm just wanted to ask you. I looked up sideline reporter as a journalist who provides live updates, insights, and interviews from the sidelines of a sporting event. So in terms of that definition, is that on key? So we're talking about on court coverage, real-time updates, interviews, preparation,
key,
and preparation. So let me ask this to keep it simple. In terms of preparation and challenges, are they both like kind of entwined with each other? Because when you prepare, you may have challenges that come about while you're preparing. So can you share a couple of instances? Because a lot of people that are watching, shout out to everyone watching Into the Game podcast. We appreciate it. A lot of people watching and listening may feel that your job is easy, but let's be clear, you make it look easy. Can you share a couple of things that a lot of people may not know about your job being a sideline reporter for NBA on Prime?
Here's the thing. So I'm taking this from people who I have conversations with all the time about my role, and what people tell me all the time. And the GOAT, Doris Burke, also says this, is that, sidelines is the easiest / hardest job in the business because you're not in that much. But when you are on air, you have to make it count, and you have to be clean, crisp, and efficient.
What's that, 3 minutes? Is that 3 minutes? Is that 3 minutes we see you? And then
less than that? You might get 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, and there's a balance. You got to feel it out. I've always kind of likened it to double dutch. You're waiting to get in, and you're waiting to kind of just like get in your groove. And sometimes you can get caught up in the ropes because a big play happens and you're in the middle of telling a story and you got to find your exit route ASAP. And so it's adjusting on the fly if I'm, providing context about player stories. And then, making sure that you have the right roadmap when you're trying to give live updates on player injuries or, what's happening in and around the arena. So those are things that you kind of have to do on the fly, but that's the role. And then the same with the interviews. It's a mixture, preparation, and kind of reading the situation. So I typically, when I'm doing my interviews, I'll write it down. You see my chicken scratch. Like I'm one of the reporters who has my notebook in my hand because it's just how I've always done it. Sometimes I've had many conversations with myself being like, oh, would I be a better reporter if I didn't have anything in my hand and I just, talked? But I know, I feel more confident when I write something down, I get the words out, and then, even if I'm not looking at it, I mapped it out on how I want to ask that question. Because I do feel like, one of my strengths is being able to put together an interview that's all encompassing. I think on the national level, it's a little bit of a luxury that, I can go a little bit more macro in my questions to kind of finish out the game. It's not a day-to-day, local beat writer, beat reporter who is going more in the weeds. Like I'm trying to give a storyline or give the viewers the narrative around this team and what they're dealing with on a bigger level. And so I tend to try to map that out, like go, what's happening in the game, and then find a way to end it with, all right, well, how does this play into the bigger picture? So to answer your question, which I don't even know what it was. It was is being a sideline reporter hard? It has been, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, we talk about this all the time. Like I'm constantly having, conversations with myself about whether I'm cut out for this and whether I can do it. And then
it's been a decade. I think you're good.
I've said to you guys I said this last year, like I'm just now starting to feel confident because I feel like I put in my time and people have seen that. And so that's something you have to earn. You have to be around this league to know it. You can't you can't just be a spectator. You have to know how to navigate it in order to really provide the proper texture and context that I feel like, is the role of a reporter.
Before Randy goes, let me pose a scenario here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say 2-hour game, we see Cassidy, let's say 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
4 times, okay? So the first 2 times you have your segments, right? But then let's just say Golden State's playing Houston. Mm-hmm. And let's just say Kevin Durant gets into it with Draymond Green.
Right.
Do you have the carte blanche to now talk about what just happened live as it goes? Or is that something where you have to actually get a team conversation going before you actually speak on what transpired and what exclusive you may have while you witnessed it?
Is this like before the game happened, or if it's happening live? Because if it's a fight live, then that's the responsibility of the analyst to kind of explain it.
So it's live. Yeah, it's live. You already went on twice. So I think you said, let's say we see you 4 times. You went on twice, and then a kerfuffle happens, right? So let's just say you have 2 more times to come on. In those 2 more times, are you going to address it, or that's strictly the analyst?
No,
you don't.
Yeah. And there's no limit, like it's what the game calls for. I remember doing a Knicks game, I think it was game 6 last year, where they just kept getting injury after injury in Indiana. And so I was in, I don't even know, 10 times during the game. And to your point, like if something like that happens, then, maybe I'll have Steve Kerr in the 3rd quarter and I ask him about that, or I make a mention of that. But until I wouldn't be addressing that until post game, where I can gather some
So gather information,
some quotes on what led to that and where it stands now. Like that's my role. Whereas the analyst and play-by-play, it's their responsibility to kind of give color and play-by-play of what's happening live.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to shout out because people do love you here. Over 600 people have chimed in somehow at some point throughout the first 25 minutes on Twitter.
Hi,
so there you go.
So because of your beautiful smile, Randy.
Thank you. I do want to read off because obviously we do research here. So I went on, .com and about this whole NBA on Prime stuff, and they kind of give a little excerpt about everybody who's coming on board. So when they got to Cassidy, I don't know. She probably saw it. So
no. We want to hear your reading. We want to hear your beautiful reading voice.
Well, this is from. Okay, there's no date on it. So all right. Cassidy Hubbarth joins Prime Video from ESPN, where she served as a full-time sideline reporter for NBA telecasts. Also at ESPN, she hosted the digital series Hoop Streams, providing leading coverage of priority NBA games. Hubbard also served as a guest host on ESPN shows like Get Up, Sports Center, and First Take. Tough. And has been a contributor to key basketball shows like NBA Today and NBA Countdown. Ooh.
She knows ball.
You hear that resume?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I lived it.
Ball.
That's right.
I lived it.
It was a beautiful time I had at ESPN. I mean, man, I grew up there. It was definitely bittersweet to say goodbye. You know, I never envisioned leaving, to be honest. And you know, I will always be grateful to my experience there, because they gave me so many opportunities. You know, like I was able to grow gradually, and they gave me so much grace. And I think that kind of grind from working my way up from a digital hire in the basement of Building 4, only ESPN people would understand that reference, to, you know, being on the sidelines of my favorite sport. Like, man, that is quite a journey that I was able to go on, and that will never be lost on me.
As a sideline reporter, I'm sorry, Randy, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So your time at ESPN, if we put a basketball to a story to it, that's like your Cavalier LeBron, and this is NBA on Prime is like your Miami Heat.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? This is like
you got me working for a while then, huh?
Taking my talents down to
taking my talents to NBA
yes.
Prime.
Where's my headband at? Where is
man.
Are you allowed as a sideline reporter to support one team?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, like everything is all mixed up these days. The lines have been long blurred.
I'm just trying to establish, like, if you showed up to work one day with a Knicks hat.
No, I can't. I can't wear paraphernalia. But
go.
I think it's well known. I grew up in Chicago. For anyone who's paying attention,
yeah,
other than
Chicago.
My mom and dad. I grew up, you know, right outside of Chicago, and during the Bulls era, and you know, the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan and Ron Harper, who was my favorite player, helped shape me as just basically a sports fan. So yeah. Crazy.
Oh, okay.
I did want to get to the remaining roster, because this is a hell of a fight roster. You guys have Jim Jackson, Del Curry, D Wade, Nash, Candace Parker, Taylor Rooks, Blake Griffin, Dirk, Udonis Haslem, John Wall, Rudy Gay, Kyle Lowry, and Swin Cash are all going to be sideline reporters, pregame analysts, contributors, color commentary. But from the people who's on your roster, as far as the former NBA players go, is there one that kind of sticks out that maybe you've seen practice, whatever they say, you know what, when they go live, it's going to be very entertaining?
Well, let me just start with the studio, because that is just like, whew, that's crazy.
There was a budget. There was a budget.
There was a budget.
There
was a budget.
But I will say, like, you know, Jared Stacey has done some podcasts, and his view is like, you're talking about people who have made wealth, you know, generational wealth. So this is not just about making money. No. This is about the want to, and that's kind of, you know, like Dirk doesn't need this. You know, like he doesn't need to be doing this, but he wants to. He's excited to explore and kind of build that muscle. And he just is such a gem of a human, like wonderful person. Same with Steve Nash, and those two together, their brotherhood, I think, is going to be so just lovely to see, because they're both such smart, accomplished players who still have a connection to today's game. So I'm excited about those two. Blake Griffin is a certified media star, And so the one-liners are just effortless. So he's and he's still kind of new to this game. You know, we haven't really seen him.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen him in comedies and stand-up comedy and commercials and everything, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how he is in a live setting. I will say my like sleepers from being around both of them are John Wall and UD. John, like, I know he had a rough end to his career, but every single time I've seen him, when I've seen him a bunch recently, he just has this massive smile on his face, and he's energized for this new chapter in his career. He's also on the new NBA TV show called The Association, and so he's getting his reps in. And UD's, I mean, yes, he did some work at ESPN, but he was the star of our seminar that we had in August. You know, we had a bunch of different panels for internal.
You referring to Udonis Haslam, UD?
Yeah.
Okay.
His energy is authentic and fantastic. So I didn't give you one answer, but if I did have to give you one answer, it would be I'm so excited for the crew I get to work with on a regular basis. Ian Eagle and Stan Van Gundy. I mean, come on.
Oh, Stan's classic.
You mentioned that too. Like, even if you mentioned Dirk, you mentioned Steve Nash, John Wall. I was just telling this jive turkey over there, the Gray. I was just telling him yesterday. I was like, we could talk about the pick and roll for an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like I literally can talk about the pick and roll for an hour. So if that's just me, I can just imagine being in a room literally with basketball savants, basketball geniuses, basically Steve Nash looking like, yeah, that's not a screen. Dirk, is that a screen?
Right.
Not
yes,
a screen.
exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Like that's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm most excited about. Obviously, I don't know if we've gotten to what you're most excited about. You mentioned the studio. You mentioned the new start. I don't know if that's, you know, those are exciting, but I'm most excited about seeing those savants talk about basketball, specifically about basketball. Yeah. That's what I'm excited about mostly. I think I just saw it. I mean, maybe going off a little to the right, but I saw even Tim Legler has a little series now where he's talking about basketball. I love it.
Yeah. And I think that's like also been a message that we've been talking about internally, is just celebrating the game. And I would say that that's how I cover the league too. You know, I'm trying to uplift these players. You know, I'm not trying to ask gotcha questions. You know, like, I think in life, people like to feel, you know,
welcome,
excitement and celebration. And especially in the world we live in right now, like, we don't need more negativity. So I think, you know, the game is in such a great place right now. And I think this season is going to deliver so many crazy storylines that like that's going to be a big focus of mine. I'm also, you know, going back to Ian and Stan, you know, I was able to work on a practice game with Stan last Friday. You know, we basically have these brand new, beautiful production trucks. We call them Magic and Bird, because one is going to be on the East Coast and one is going to be on the West Coast. And they're state of the art. And, you know, our whole production crew had to, you know, get used to the new graphics and working together. And so I was able to do a practice run with with Stan and Michael Grady. And, you know, Stan is just, he has this way of telling you exactly what's happening, but also making you laugh in the process. And, you know, I can't wait to learn from him. Ian, I will tell you, like Blake said this himself, Ian may be the funniest person on the whole roster. Ian is a stand-up comedian who just does play-by-play on the side, who just happens to be broadcaster of the year on the side. He is, wow.
Eagle Man.
sure I don't giggle the entire broadcast because I wish I was even like 1/1000th as sharp and witty as he is, because everything he has the perfect comeback, and he's just amazing. They don't make him like him anymore.
You see what kind of teammate Cass is, you know?
Mm-hmm,
What kind of teammate he is, you know, when no one's looking, she's, you know, that Ian, that Kevin, that Michael, you know, I want that from you too, Randy, you know?
And
I need that from you.
I got you. Starting tomorrow, I got you.
Starting tomorrow.
I do want to point out, I think it's very cool that not only from Prime, who gets the former NBA players, but like it seems like NBC is like they got the word too. Like, all right, we're gonna bring in Melo, Jamal Crawford, Vince Carter. It's like, oh, like it's not the regular analyst people. You're getting the perspective from people who've been in it, world champions, playoff appearances, NBA All Stars. So getting to hear their perspective in real time, even like Jordan going to NBC, like everybody wants to know what he's going to say and do, but it's like just having that notion that you're getting these former athletes, because it's been that wave where they got podcasts coming out and stuff like that, so their words are more like being taken more serious to have a bigger platform and everything. So just you guys in NBC really taking that notion, like we're going to bring in all these former athletes and speak about the game, not the hot takes, not the gotcha question. Like they're going to speak about what they see in real time.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we are seeing is like something we've all known. What a luxury it is that I think the NBA has so much star power, and so we're now seeing this like generation that us elder millennials or you know Gen X grew up watching, and now you know they're like starting the next phase in their career, but they were such prominent members of pop culture that I think they resonate in ways that maybe we like just didn't have in abundance, you know, before, which I feel like we do now. And so, you know, NBC has a great roster. I can continue to wax poetic about all the people we have. And of course, you know, ESPN continues to be a industry standard, you know, shout out to my girl always and ever, Doris Burke, who is one of my dearest friends, and I still talk to her every day. And she's going to be on so many amazing matchups this year. And I'm excited to see what Tim Legler and RJ do, two very close friends of mine as well. I mean, if there was anybody else who's put in the grind at ESPN, it's Tim Legler. I mean, we spent a lot of late nights together on NBA Tonight at 2 a.m. But I've always said no one has taught me more about basketball outside of my father than Tim Legler. And I've also said that Richard Jefferson is the best teammate that I've ever had. So I'm rooting for those guys, and I can't wait to see what they do during the finals.
And RJ got his own show coming out too, looking for the Richard show, I think.
Yeah, well,
like I saw
he's
the
just
promo.
a walking show. I mean, like Richard just like.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He's something, all right. That's he's
the content king. The content king.
For sure. What you got, Denny, before we get into the basketball of it?
Well, listen, I just all I'm going to pick up. I'm just picking up what you guys are dropping in terms of you know, the excitement for the new brains that are going to be around, the new savants. But you mentioned Tim Legler, and that's what I missed him on TV. I learned so much when he was just talking about the game that I was just like, you know, we need more of this. We need more of I've talked to Randy about this for years ad nauseum, where it's just like we need more deep dives into the game. Like, I need to know, yes, talk to me about a pin down. Talk to me about a high screen. Why doesn't this play work here? Why does this play work there? Those are things that, I mean, you have how do you say, there are all different types of fans, right?
Yeah.
You have your your day one fans that know the intricate parts of the game, and then you have your quote unquote your fair weather fans.
So are you saying you don't like does this affect LeBron's legacy questions?
I agree with you, but in defense, of ESPN, it's a 24/7 network, which there's multiple.
You got to create content.
I
and
hear you.
So, like there's two arguments. And am I in favor of trying to focus on the positive of the game more, and that there's time and place for those conversations? And should we be having them during the finals? No, but you also need to understand that, like ESPN is a big part of the basically like PR for the NBA. It's where you can go to consume NBA news every day, which, is not the case everywhere. So 100%. I get what you're saying. And I think we're going to go in that direction. I think what NBC and certainly what we're doing at Prime Video is going to be focusing on celebrating the game, like and focusing on educating fans and embracing the future of the game. So I think that that's definitely a mission statement, and I think you're going to see that be prioritized in our game broadcasts. And
just want balance, right? We just want balance.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And that's, I think what we're seeing just in society, like this pendulum has been swinging so far to each side. And I think in general, we just all got to come together in the middle.
Right in the middle.
You're tired of the seesaw?
We got to come together.
Oh, boy.
Let's get back to a sweet spot.
Where did I have you going first? I see the first two games. There's Boston, New York, and it's Minnesota, LA. I assume that's the Lakers.
So until like we start going into Thursday night football or Thursday night exclusives, like I'm like mostly going to be East Coast with Ian and Stan. So I have a lot of Knicks games. So I will be seeing you, Randy. That is opening night against the Celtics. So
I'll be there. And listen, that's been the topic the last couple of days on the show. And just, I follow a lot of Knicks fans on Twitter and Instagram. And I get it. They're very
passionate,
very anxious about this season. So am I. That now it's like, hey, we're in the NBA Finals conversation. We're in playoffs. We're in conference finals, but now it's like you got to get there because of there are some people who are not playing this year, liking not playing this year. Tyrese and Jay Tatum, which people say he might pull up in March or April. I don't think he should, but.
What is he on? We're just Wolverine out here now.
I
guess. Like, look at all the
Wolverine
technology
and Daredevil.
That Mr. Miyagi
shit. It makes
Wolverine, Daredevil,
sense, but also it doesn't at the same time.
Yeah.
Wolverine, Daredevil, and Black Panther at the same time.
I'll package this question where who do you like in the East? Because you already know my answer, but who do you like in the West? Because we still have a defending champion, brand new champion in the Thunder, so nobody should overlook past them. But East side, they talk about the Knicks, Cavaliers. West Coast is like right now still OKC. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I think right now it's Cavs, Knicks in a category of their own, and then you have teams like the Magic and the Pistons, and even if they can get something out of Joel, like you're telling me the Sixers can't figure something out. And you know what? Both of your looks of disgust may just be what gets the final squeeze out of Paul and Joel. I don't know. Maybe I'm a Sixers apologist. I just cover so many of their games, but I wish for the league that they have a competitive season because they have a lot of guys on that team that I really enjoy.
I'm trying to find it right now.
Is certainly one of those guys.
I think the juice is so squeezed.
Like real quick, they said Paul George is out for the the first game. I'm like,
wait, he's out for the first game?
as of 1:30, they said Nick Nurse said Paul George not expected to play for regular season opener on Wednesday. So I'm like, here we go again.
There's a lot. I don't know what to say. I have no rebuttal.
Like as a fan,
asked me what I'm feeling is like it would be good for the league if they're good.
I agree. If they're all healthy on paper, I'm like, hey, you got to watch out for Philadelphia. But it's the actual participation. You got to get out there on the floor. Because you tell me Embiid, Paul George, Maxey, McCain, Edgecombe, some other guys. Hey, okay, I like that roster. But if one is not there or two are not there, sometimes three are not there, then what do we?
We're having too much Sixers talk. All I meant was it'd be good if they were good.
Yeah.
But I think the Cavs and the Knicks are like the teams that are going to be carrying all of the expectations, and the conversation throughout the year is going to be like, hey, you have a runway. What are you going to do with it? To the NBA Finals. And as far as the West goes, it's the Thunder and the Nuggets. Like you can't count Nikola Jokic out. And I like their additions of Cam Johnson and Valanciunas. And I don't know how I feel about the Rockets now without
Van Fleet.
But look, like Kevin.
You sound stressed out.
I am a little stressed out with the West. I am a little stressed. You know who I do like? I like Dallas.
I said Dallas last night.
And I like the Clippers. Like, despite all the things going on around them, I think they're going to put together a good product on the floor. And, but a little part of me, like, is excited to see Luka go off. And I don't know. I don't know if he will, but I
mean, ain't no LeBron for the first 3 weeks.
Fully embrace those LA lights.
And
he'll be thinner too, so just a brand new Luka out there.
That's not what I heard. That's not what I heard.
What?
I heard the scale's the same. That's what they say.
Yeah, but you know how that works. Muscle weighs more than fat, so it's like an eye test. He's more fit. Look, he's in the land of the fit. And so
that's right. He ain't got no choice.
Access to health and wellness, and the Lakers have a massive investment in him because he's their future. So you
mentioned something great. You mentioned something great in terms of. Well, not even great, but interesting when you say, on paper, it just seems like that's a lot of what's going on. Like Randy, correct me if I'm wrong. Cassie, correct me if I'm wrong. But usually NBA, we'd have maybe one or two teams where it's like on paper, woo! Like now it just seems like eight or nine teams now.
There's a new champion every year. Like you've heard this, like. The narrative now is like the
playoffs.
Era of the super team is dead. And so like I think that's what I meant by I don't know what to expect this year. Like who knows? Maybe Minnesota gets back to the Western Conference Finals and Ant becomes the face of the league as we anointed him a couple of years ago. Or was that last year?
You need two in a possible. I think you all on every championship team, you need two in a possible. Two in a possible in terms of two stars and a possible third that's going to come in and do something. Once you have a two in a possible, normally 9 times as you look at the Boston, Denver,
this
OKC.
is what all these conversations are on October 16th.
That's right.
When it's a sign of a healthy league. And I think that's the overall message. I think we're in a really good place, a competitive place. And I think that, there's been so much conversation of like, how is the NBA going to survive in the post-LeBron, post-Steph era? And I think we're seeing that it's not just about the superstar. It's about a collective. And that's a great thing.
Yeah. You see Wemby. You see Joker. Okay.
I saw Wemby. I was in San Antonio Friday for that. That guy is unreal.
Seven
I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like
7'7". And every time they say we're never going to see something like that again, like, you know, I'm thinking about Kevin Durant when they was like, oh, there'll never be nothing like Kevin Durant, and then I'm thinking about Kevin Garnett, and I'm like, oh, there'll never be another Kevin Garnett, and then you see a guy like Wemby come into the league at 7'7", and they're like, no, he can shoot, and no, even KP, Kristaps Porzingis, I'm like, oh, you know. Kristaps, they said no.
And those guys that you named are all talented and all work hard. I mean, it is known fact that Kevin Durant is one of the hardest workers that this game has ever seen. But I will say the respect that Victor Wembanyama has for himself by being humble enough to seek out the advice and guidance from some of the all-time greats. I mean, we saw him working with Kevin Garnett and Elijah Wan. And I think we even saw Rasheed Wallace. And, like some people may have just like said, oh, that's kind of cool that he went and, studied some Kung Fu and meditation with Chinese monks. But like all of this came from last year, having that health scare and, with the blood clot in his shoulder, and it kind of reawakened him. I mean, he was already dedicated to being the greatest that he could possibly be in this sport, but he's not just focused on him being better. Like he's having a more out of body awakening for, how he can impact this league. And I know that's a big statement, but I think that you can't undersell his mental capabilities to master this game, along with his physical capabilities.
Yeah. Two things on that, Randy, before you go. Two things on that on Wemby. Number one, okay, I call the USA, the Olympics or the FIBA or the Euro. I call that AAU for the players. Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to go over there, play well, and then the following year they're better. I've been seeing that over a period of time. So I saw that with clearly Wemby, but then also too, you have to understand there's nothing wrong with going to Bruce Lee and say, "Teach me." So if you're trying to get better, if you don't know who Bruce Lee is, God bless you. If you're trying to get better, you said monks earlier. If you're trying to get better, you go to the folks that are better. But also, too, second thing is Ann Edwards. Mm-hmm. He's getting better. He literally went to the Olympics, played with Steph, and now all of a sudden the next coming year, he has a better 3-point shot. How does that happen?
What do you mean?
Steph, he literally got better, saw Steph taught him some stuff, and then he came into the league and applied it. So Wemby's going to literally be the exact same thing going forward.
I mean, you always hear the reference that like football is the game of inches. Basketball, the difference in talent from star player, max player to the end of the bench guy is actually very, very like small, but it's how you apply and how you handle that lifestyle and how you handle the pressure. And, that happens in a lot of forms of entertainment.
No, that's a brilliant point.
How you can handle the bright lights.
That's a brilliant point. Clip that, Randy.
Okay. From a rookie standpoint, or a player making their return from an injury, or we haven't seen in a while, or a player that's wearing a brand new uniform, like who are some players that you're looking forward to see, like Cooper Flag, KD in Houston? We get Zion back. Who are some people you're like, you know what, I want to see more of this guy because it's something brand new?
I guess I would say I'm excited to see Cooper Flag. I don't watch college basketball that much because I'm so wrapped up in the NBA. And the hype seems to be real around him. And I'm excited to see how he does with all those veterans around him as well. I think that could be a really great environment for him to grow in. Like I said, I'm really excited to see Luka. Like I just want to see him go off. Like outside of him barking at the refs, he's one of my favorite players. If you could just fast forward through all the times he's complaining to the refs and just get to his, actual basketball playing, I really enjoy watching him.
Welcome to the Lee Cooper flag. Gabe Vincent let you know.
And I would say flag because last night we did the show and we talk about sleepers or whatever. Like I like the Mavericks because something tells me that Kyrie might come back this year, like later on, like March, April, but depending on how they're doing by that time, like if the Mavs are a top 4 team by March, April, I could see Kyrie coming back, and you already add to Cooper Flag, Klay Thompson, Lively, Gafford, AD, D'Lo, like that. That's a nice.
Davis been playing.
That's a nice roster right there. But if they're floundering and it's like, we're in play-in mode, I don't think Kyrie comes back. But I think you adding Kyrie to that mix with Cooper Flag, and I think he's in the best possible scenario because he's not in Charlotte. He's not in Washington where he has to be the guy and make this team win 20 games. You go into somewhat of a playoff contender already, and the expectation is not the spotlight is not so much on you. It's not he can just play his game, relax, do his thing, and not be like, oh, you're the rookie of the year. You're this great person from Duke, but you only got 10 wins and we're in February. You don't have that coming from him. So that's why the Mavericks, to me, can be that team like, hey, knock on that door. Like, we're here. Don't forget about us.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody was circling Houston, but I don't, we'll see. And they got a lot of young talent. And speaking of young talent, I think to round out my answer to your question, I am also very excited to see what next level Paolo Banchero and Cade Cunningham can take their game to this season. And I think that will be a big decider on how things go for the Knicks and Cavs in that top bracket that we discussed.
So Denny makes that face because we're both big Paolo Banchero fans. I know he had a rough injury last year.
Human being, by the way. I don't think TV does him justice.
I saw Paolo in person at Fanatics Fest. I'm like,
monster.
He looks like a football player with NBA height. I'm like,
he's like a modern Carmelo. Like
I say, he's Carmelo 2.0.
Carmelo 2.0.
That's what I said as soon as I saw him.
He looks like Shredder.
Yeah, him.
You was laughing at Bruce Lee. Call him Shredder.
Banchero. Denny loves Wagner. Also, he loves.
Say his name right, Randy.
Franz Wagner, right?
Franz Wagner. Yeah,
we love Cade Cunningham. So like that East is like, again, I know they got Cavs in New York, but if I want to be fair, like I like what Atlanta did. They got some new reinforcements over there. They could be.
Yeah, the time is now for Trey to get back in the spotlight. Because man, what a showman he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's another guy. Like I want to see him more.
I don't know, man.
They jerk him because he led the league in assists last year.
I know.
25, 20 whatever points per game. Can make an all-star team.
Rod Strickland.
I'm like, bro, Trae Young can't make an all-star team?
It's happened before. It's too packed in the East. I mean, you think about it. How many guards do you need, baby? How many guards do you need?
You gonna give him Jalen's spot?
Yeah, like come on now. Let's be real.
See, now we're going too far. We're going too far.
Cassidy's going too far.
Here we go. That way. We don't talk about that way.
Listen, I think Jalen could be in the MVP conversation. I think he should be first team All NBA.
I think obviously.
Like first team. What's about first team?
The heart on that guy is undeniable. I just am interested to see what Mike Brown does with him.
And I like what they did with the bench. They needed some firepower, some more girth on the bench, and they did get that. I know Brogdon retired last night, but you still got Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson. They're gonna figure out Mitchell or Hart. with the starting five. I think Mitchell going to be the starting center. So Mike Brown comes on board. So I like what they did. And now it's just like, hey, man, got to go out there, play the games, knock on wood, stay healthy, and see what this team can do. Because last year you won 51 games. And you could win 55 plus. Can you get the 1 seed? How the Cavs, I'm not afraid, but I know what they can do. It's just like, all right, because they beat us 4 times last year, 4-0. I'm like, all right, if you could beat them 1 time this year.
I mean, that's the knock on the Cavs. Like, they were out of this world.
Yeah.
Randy, you mentioned that they beat you. Were you full strength? All 4 times?
I think I want to say at least 3 games. I want to say at least half the games.
2 out of those games, yeah. 2 out of those, maybe 2 out of the 4, you were full strength. So,
and 1 game we got smoked. I remember that. Watching the ball on ESPN, I'm like, damn.
I remember that game.
I'm by 40? Shit.
They took the night off. I remember that game. They took the night off.
Yes.
But yeah.
Before we wrap up, I do want to get real quick. I want to get some W questions for you, Cassidy. The finals ended a few weeks ago. Aces 3 out of 4. Asia Wilson is like
Asia's a monster.
Like
I've often said, like, if you were to, create a basketball player in like a factory, like, I don't know if you could build a better basketball frame top to bottom than Asia.
Yeah, because she's, and I was just having a convo with my boys yesterday, and I was like, yo, man, what's the W's? Is Asia in the Mount Rushmore now? And I know she's still active.
I mean, she's a 4-time MVP.
I agree. I say, yo, she has a carving already, and she's still going. Yeah. Then I'm like, the convo goes, all right, who's after Asia Wilson? I said Maya Moore.
Maya Moore.
So now you're
Diana
Taurasi. Now you're three there. Need 1 more.
Yeah. We got to think of that 3rd one. It's gonna be hard.
No,
but the first
you got Taurasi, Maya, and Asia.
Well, 4th. Okay, yeah, 4th. So those three. If you follow the WNBA and you talk about the whole career, talk about their whole career, what they accomplished. Those 3. It's hard to argue those 3. So after that,
it's so hard when you think about
the 4th,
like, the people who helped,
pave the way,
establish the league, like Lisa Leslie, and
you could throw Cheryl Swoops in there.
Cheryl Swoops, and
Cooper.
It's hard. Yeah, Cynthia Cooper. I don't know. I'm not qualified to determine the
Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops, because Cynthia, quiet as Kim. Cynthia Cooper. A lot of y'all don't know. Houston Rockets, Houston Comets. Houston Comets. Yeah. Cynthia Cooper.
They dominated.
He was doing work.
It was a dynasty
overseas. Randy Cassidy. I'm watching WNBA. Back then, I'm watching, and Cynthia Cooper comes down, fast break, and does this weird shift. She goes right, and then goes left, and then finish. I said, what did she just do? She was doing Euro steps in the 90s.
Yeah.
2000s. Come on.
Nah, I was there. I saw the games.
Come on. She was a problem.
I was there.
Yeah, she was a problem. But yeah.
I just want to say Asia's she's and then people were saying, people I knew were saying I had Phoenix. No, okay, why? Oh, because this and that. They
I heard that. Remember that conversation, Randy?
Yeah, they relied too much on Asia Wilson and for Jewel Lloyd and Jack Young. I'm like, all right. And next thing you know, swept.
I was like, the folks that was talking, that were talking about Phoenix. I'm like, wait, hold on. You talking like
Phoenix put up a nice fight throughout the playoffs.
Yeah,
the way they presented it, the way the folks we were talking about Phoenix, I was like, wait, did they not forget?
It was more about
Asia's over there,
forgetting how qualified the Aces are to be champions.
Certified, qualified, all of the above. You're absolutely
and the fact that they were 14-14, they win like 16 in a row, something like that, and then you're the 2 seed, and you win the whole shit. I'm like, oh wow, like that this season for them is like one of the greatest they've ever had. Did you know, Cassie, before we out of here, the WNBA All-Star game next year is in Chicago.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Look at that. Oh,
I mean, I love my hometown city, but I do have flashbacks to when the NBA had the All-Star game in Chicago and COVID was running rampant, and then the season got shut down like shortly after that.
Yeah,
but it was a great All-Star for sure.
But this All-Star will be in July.
It's not for the faint of heart, you know.
Yeah.
Even though All-Star for WNBA is nicer weather, so they're gonna get summertime shy. So good, you know what? Put on
WNBA All-Star in July.
In all your true colors.
WNBA All-Star in July over NBA All-Star in Chicago in 0 degree February. Yeah, I think I'd rather go. Bro, it was 0 degrees. I'm like, why are we doing this?
It's not for everybody, but those who it's for.
My last question to you, Kaz. Hey, you're Chicago Bulls. Let's give a little spotlight on Chicago Bulls. What do we?
Why?
They call Chicago Bulls the play-in GOAT because they always in the play-in. Them and Toronto Raptors. Are we seeing some improvement?
Okay, this is where I'm excited to see if Josh Giddey can continue to, have an upward trajectory with his game. And that's pretty much all that they deserve.
I'm trying to establish
what
the strategy is.
I think he's tough.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, Kobe White's tough, but what's the strategy? That's when I just
a roster offhand. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
You trying to torture Cassidy before she leaves?
No, like
I feel like I made it clear. We don't need to have this conversation. Just because I'm representing, we don't have to have.
Like, nah, fam.
They gotta earn it. They gotta earn it.
Yeah, she don't want to do it, big bro. She don't want to do it, and it's fine. I understand why.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't want to say if all that. You know what? If you want to do that, just talk about Sacramento.
I'm looking. Yeah, listen. We can wrap up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're a team.
They are a team
in the league. They're professionals.
Look, I got love. Look, I will say Chicago is one of, if not arguably, the greatest American cities.
Yeah.
It deserves, and Bulls fans show up to each and every game. Every game in the United Center is sold out. Chicago loves its sports. They deserve to be able to cheer on a contender, and I hope they get there.
Me too.
I hope so too. To be real, it's the same thing we went through with the Knicks years ago. We're like, hey, we got a third pick in the draft. We got this. We signed this player. We traded for this player. We got a brand new coach, new president, new GM. And I went through that pain of like no playoffs, bumped out, this, that, bad signing, and now you're at a point where you're in talks of a championship. So I know the pain. I know one day the Bulls will be back where they're supposed to be.
Are there any more Villanova cats around? Like that could just slide in?
Maybe.
I'm sure. Yeah,
we can get Jay Wright for a little coaching gig or something.
No, Jay's made it abundantly clear he's good.
He don't need that check. He don't need.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
There you go.
Denny Blanco at Sir Denny Blanco on all social media platforms, at Cassidy Hubbarth on Instagram and Twitter /X, at Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, letter J C RUZ. Again, find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. And most importantly, go to youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. One quick thing, Kat. We never really have you in October. The last time I had you was September. So you may or may not. I know you have the 6-year-old daughter, but do you get into the Halloween of things, or you like, you do?
Very much. Well, not like personally, just very into it because of my daughter.
Yeah.
I didn't even dress up like college or any of that kind of stuff.
But no, watching the throwback horror movies. Are you a horror movie fan or no?
No, I'm like a Hocus Pocus. I'll watch that like a good 7 times. But scary movies, no, I don't. I have too much anxiety. I don't need to add to it.
No.
Like, why am I watching horror movies? No, I'm a rom-com girl.
Randy,
Okay.
Cassie's gonna show up to the Halloween costume party.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, Cassie, what are you?
She's
She's like,
I just turn on the news if I want to
No.
be scared.
she's right. She's like, no, I showed up. I'm me. I'm the sideline reporter, Cassidy Hubbarth.
Well, I was gonna ask.
Have been going all out since we doing these,
Yeah.
dressing up with my daughter. So like last
Nice.
year, my daughter was a character from a Disney show a movie called The Descendants, and then I was her mom.
Nice.
Picture, but I don't show my family. And then this year, we're doing K-pop Demon Hunters, like every other person.
Okay.
Everybody, you know what? I'm gonna stay away. I'm glad I'm not in the
Okay.
bubble.
What is that?
I'm out
I don't know.
I'm out the bubble.
No, you're lying, Randy. You've
No,
never
I'm not
heard of
lying.
K-pop
No, we're
Demon
not.
Hunters?
No, I just literally spoke to my wife. My wife is like, "This is some big thing, Demon Hunters." I'm like, I'm literally so detached.
I don't get into all that.
I'm so.
What
I think I
world
watched
are
the
you
video.
living in? I
Yeah,
guess.
Am I supposed to know this or?
Yes,
It's a cartoon.
amazing.
It's a cartoon, big thing.
It is like the #1 movie of all time on Netflix.
Yeah,
And they got bops.
Okay, repeat. What's it called again?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
K-pop Demon Hunters. You got grown folks literally singing songs to these cartoons.
No, their songs. They just went platinum. One of their songs golden.
Yeah, I saw the video.
It went platinum. There's
cartoon video.
like every single one of those songs was the top 100 on Billboard.
So it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon about a K-pop group that fights demons. I can't. You just gotta watch it. It's fantastic.
You know what?
The music.
I'll watch it.
Randy, let me know what.
I have to sell you on K-pop Demon Hunters. It's been around for months.
So it's brand new still.
No, fairly under this year. This year.
Right. Netflix.
Netflix.
All right.
Yo, Randy, you watch it, and we'll do the cliff notes.
I'll dive in. Denny Blanco, Cassidy Hubbarth, we love you. We appreciate you. And listen, anytime you want to come on, we got you.
These glasses are fake, by the way.
Right.
I need to look for you guys.
You gotta tell the audience at the last second. Oh boy. All right. Well, on that note,
That's gonna be cool. You guys think I pulled it off? All right. Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye,
Take it
guys.
easy. All right.